Hello friends, I hope you're doing well. Today's video is focused on what a week in my life as a college student doing remote learning looks like. School looks really different this year for pretty much every single student, even if they're going back to school. I wanted to share what my experience is like. For those of you who don't know, I am currently a first-year college student at a community college, and everything is remote. So I wanted to share this once-in-a-lifetime experience with you all, and if you are interested, feel free to keep watching. Good morning. Ooh, whoa. Okay. Good morning. Wow, it's gonna be one of those days, huh? Today is Monday, November 2nd. It's the first day of the week, depending on when you decide the week starts. Some people say Sunday, I say Monday. So Monday, first day of the week, this is where we're starting. Every single day on Monday, the first thing I do is I go through all of my classes online and I figure out what is due when and what I have to do to get those assignments in. So if I have to do some reading, then I have to schedule out when I'm going to do that reading. For some of my classes, I have to watch pre-recorded lectures, so I figure out when I'm going to set aside time to watch those lectures, and I set aside time for when I'm going to do those assignments. Typically, what I try to do is I try to have school start at 10 a.m. and end at 6 p.m. with an hour-long lunch break somewhere between Monday through Friday. That does not almost ever work out perfectly because, for example, right now it is 12:30 and I haven't started my schoolwork yet, and I'm blaming it on daylight savings because I'm a little bit thrown off by that, but whatever. And last week, Sunday, literally last night, I was doing schoolwork, turning it in around 7 p.m. So it doesn't always work out. I try to get it like that, so if I do have to do work on the weekends, it's very minimal work. I'm not sitting there for hours doing work. I try to have it so I'm doing roughly 7 to 8 hours of schoolwork every single day and just sitting down and working on that. I always write it down in my planner, which you were actually currently sitting on top of, so unfortunately I can't show you that right now, but I will show you what that looks like afterwards. All of my classes are color-coded, which is very helpful to me, and then after I plan out my week, I plan out my day. Every single morning, I plan out my day. So right now, I'm going to look through all of my online classes, see what is due when, what I need to do in order to do those assignments, basically just what my classwork is for this week, what I need to expect, and fill it all out in my planner. I get access to almost all of my work and all of my lessons on Monday, so that's why I do it on Monday. That is what we are going to do right now, and I'll show you what my planner looks like afterwards. Okay, so here is this week's overview. Ignore like these up on here where I have like a schedule that I will explain in literally just a second, but everything on here is color coordinated for classes. We look over here, I have red is math, light blue is for my communications, purple is for my writing, and green is for my first year experience. And so for example, today I would like to read my reading for my writing class, do the critique, and my FYE work. And then I have in this like magenta color, I have personal things that I would like to get done. So I'd like to do my laundry and vacuum my bedroom today. And I'll probably add more of those personal goals throughout the week as it continues on. But right now, that's just what I would like to do. Over here, you can see that these things are due. I put these on as soon as I got my syllabuses back, my syllabi. I cannot remember what the plural of syllabus is. I never do. But I went through and, for example, you can see next week when things are due, when things are happening that have already been put in place. So I have like my midterm on Friday. I have an assignment due on Saturday and assignments due on Sunday, but that doesn't mean I can't turn them in earlier, and I would like to try and get it so I'm not doing work on the weekend, which is why I'm trying to keep these blank so I can have time to focus on myself and my family and just not school, because I do a lot of schoolwork. So now these little schedule things. Let me explain what those are all about. So for those of you who watched my preparing for college video I posted a few weeks back, or maybe even like a month ago now, I talked about what it was like signing up for college, and I was under the impression that we were going to do Zoom meetings instead of lectures. And for one of my classes that is true, but for the rest of them it's not. So I have 4 classes. One of them I meet once a week on Zoom, and the rest is either pre-recorded videos or I do a reading instead of a meeting or something along those lines, but we just don't ever meet. When I signed up and I created my schedule, I thought that I had my communications class from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. That ended up being false because instead I was doing a pre-recorded video. So I went through my entire planner for the term as soon as I had my schedule set, and I planned out my days. It turns out for my school, remote learning is pretty much all asynchronous, sometimes synchronous. What does that mean? Asynchronous means on your own time. You do it as it works for you, and then you just turn things in by the time that they are due. Synchronous is when you have a meeting time and everything is in line with when everyone else is doing it. Does that make sense? So everyone is on the same schedule. Asynchronous is you do it at your own pace. It's been very interesting adjusting to it, and I wish I didn't put the schedule down before I knew that. Now what I'm going to do is on this notepad, I'm going to write the date, and then I'm going to create a to-do list. Okay, so the to-do list is done. Literally nothing revolutionary at all. It's just a list of the things that I would like to get done. As you can see, I already checked off one of those things, which is just to plan my week. But I have a whole bunch of stuff I need to do, which means we should get going. It's just one of those days where it's 1 o'clock right now. Usually I would be pretty far into my schoolwork. I want a day off and I haven't had one yet, but it's okay. We're okay. We're gonna do it. It's gonna be fine. I need to print out my reading for this week for my Writing 122 class, and then I need to do my reading for my Writing 122 class, so I will show you that in just a second. Alrighty, so I've just gone and printed out my communications midterm study guide. So those are the things that are going to be on my midterm, which I'm not going to study right now. I'm going to read Martin Luther King Jr.'s Letter from Birmingham Jail, which is a long letter. It's 6 pages long in this teeny tiny font, and then I have to write a critique on it, and that is due tomorrow. Usually when I do readings for this class, what I will do is I will read a paragraph and then give a brief description off onto the sideline of what I just read, and then on the back I will do like a brief overview of what happened in the reading. And I do this so that when I take my quizzes, because they're open book, if I need to find a piece of information that's specific, or I need to understand a little bit better what is happening so I can answer the question correctly, it's easier for me to find what I'm looking for if I can read like the brief descriptions on the side or the brief description on the back, instead of going through like the entire thing trying to skim and find what it is that I'm looking for. So I'm gonna read this and we'll check back in. Okay, so it is about 6 p.m. now. I didn't do pretty much anything today. Where? Okay, that would have been bad. I woke up with back pain and a gnarly headache, so I laid in bed for a really long time, and I was hoping that it would go away. It hasn't yet. I've drank a lot of water, taken some pain medication. I just haven't really been able to work. So I will say that one of the benefits of doing asynchronous or remote learning is that the fact that I really didn't get much done today is not detrimental, because hopefully I will wake up tomorrow and I will feel good. And so I read like 1 page of this. It's really well written. However, my head is aching. So I'm going to stop and then I will start early tomorrow, read this. Oh my gosh, my eyes are twitching. My brain. I did renew my federal aid, which is awesome, my FAFSA. If you are going to college or university in the United States, you should either do your FAFSA or renew your FAFSA, or there are like equivalents to it if you are an immigrant. I'm not exactly sure what that is called. I will try to look it up. Good morning. How are we doing today? It's Tuesday at 9:52. I'm about to log into my one and only Zoom meeting of the week. It's supposed to go from 10 a.m. to 11:50. Usually goes from 10 a.m. to 11:30, and we do the quiz. I was hoping to do the rest of my reading before this class. I did not do that. The quiz is due at 2 p.m. So as soon as this class is over, I'm going to do my in-class writing, then I'm going to read it, and then I'm going to take the quiz, and then I'm going to write my critique, and then I'm going to turn in my critique. There's plenty of things for us to do this week. We have lots and lots to do. I'm not going to make you sit here and watch me listen to my lecture on my Zoom, because I'm going to sit in front of my computer quietly. It's going to be a beautiful, wonderful, productive day. So I will see you around 11:30 probably. Okay, so it is now 11:20. I've just gotten off of my Zoom class. I have today's to-do list here in my hand. I still need to read the rest of this, take the quiz on that, write my critique on it, and I need to do an in-class writing for this class. I'm going to go ahead and do the in-class writing right now so that I don't forget about it, and because it takes the least amount of time. And then after that, I think I'll take a little bit of a break, read this, do the quiz on it, then do the critique, turn that in, and then we'll consider doing my FYE work. By the way, FYE stands for first year experience. It's something I need to take to get my grant money, and it only takes about an hour a week. So that's why if I keep putting it off, it's because it's one of those things that if I have to do over the weekend, it's really not that big of a deal. So it is now 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I took a break after my class to talk to one of my friends for a while, and then came back in and did my reading, did a quiz, and did my classwork. So I have to do my critique and turn that in, and then I also would like to do my FYE work for today, and then that's it for my schoolwork that I have for today. Maybe I'll do something more, but it's already 2 o'clock. I'm going to grab some lunch and then eat it while I am writing my critique. I'm hoping that everything went okay because my quiz was a little glitchy. So I'm worried that it didn't go through correctly or the questions were not how they should be. I don't know. I'm worried that something went wrong. I don't know. I guess we'll see. Whew, okay, so it is 5:30. I just turned in my critique of Martin Luther King Jr.'s letter from Birmingham jail. It's kind of long. I'll show you. It's not like long, but for a critique it is. Typically for critiques we sit around the 300 to 500 range, and this is right around 700. I don't even think that's clear, but it's nice and long, about 1.25 pages. I think for the last like 20 minutes of the day, because I would like to end at 6 p.m., I'm going to start my FYE work, not finish it probably because it takes about a half hour or an hour. So I'm going to watch the video for that class, kind of see what it's going to be, and start preparing for the assignment that I have to do, so that when I do have to do the assignment, it's only going to take me like a half an hour. Good morning. Today is Wednesday, November 4th at 11:31 a.m. We are starting off a little bit late today because last night was the election day, which results are not in yet, just so you know. So I stayed up late following that, and then this morning I got up and I filmed a debrief for the video that is going up last week when you're watching this. So we are a little bit later than our soft 10 a.m. start time, but I told you at the beginning of the video that the 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. is more of like a suggestion. It's more like a guideline to make sure that I'm getting most of my work done and working for a decent amount of time. So I was still productive and I filmed that debrief. This morning I've been following the presidential election still. It's very, very interesting, and I know that a lot of people, even who are not Americans, are interested in this presidential election because American politics are very interesting this year. But we're not talking about the election, we're talking about my school. So today I really want to focus on my communications class and a little bit of my math class, so I'm not stuck doing only math for the last couple of days, because that is always horrible when I do that to myself. So I think I'm going to watch my communications lecture, do my communications assignment, read half of my math reading, and then finish off my FYE work. And those are like my goals for school today. And if I can do all of those, then the rest of the week is going to be a lot easier for myself. And will just be easier to swallow. So I'm going to go ahead and make today's to-do list, because I haven't even done that yet. And then I'll check back in and let you know what exactly I am doing. It is 12:23 right now. I'm going to watch this hour-long lecture. It's probably going to take me more than an hour long to get through. Then I'm going to do my assignment, and then I'm going to do my math reading. I will check back in with you afterwards and show you my notes. So it is about 3:50, and I just finished my communications lecture, which I'm pretty sure is much later than you thought I was going to finish it, because it was only an hour long and I started at like 1:30. But the thing is I stopped to make lunch in the middle of it. I ate lunch while watching it. I have done and put away one load of laundry, and I have laundry in there right now and cleaned up while I was watching it. Plus I had to pause a couple of times to take notes, but that's pretty common with those types of lectures. I like to multitask when I do them, but I will show you my notes for them. It's nothing terribly interesting. It's just like a couple pages of notes, how I normally do my notes, just normal color-coded notes. That's about it. For school now, I'm probably going to do my communications assignment like right about now, take a little tiny break, and then do some of my math reading. I should be done with school by 5-ish if I work efficiently, or 5:30, and then I'll spend the rest of my school day like editing, so that I have a little bit more done. Okay, so I apologize that the lighting's so bad. The sun is completely gone, but it is now 5:30, almost 5:40, 5:37. I finished my communications assignment that took me a little longer than I was expecting, but that's okay. For the rest of the day, probably until 6:10-ish, I'm going to do a little bit of my math reading, only about a third of it. That way it's not like overwhelming, because I have a lot of math reading, and I take notes on it. So for the rest of the day, I'm going to do some math notes, read it in my textbook. I don't know if these days are giving you like a good understanding of how much work is actually going into these things, because I feel like I've only shown you that I've done 3 things today, but it's taken me literally all day to do those 3 things. So I'm hoping that you can see that it actually is a lot of work and I'm not just being slow and lazy. I don't know how well that's coming across in this video. So more than likely, I'll see you tomorrow. Alright, hello. It is Thursday, November 5th at about 2:30 in the afternoon. This day has been interesting because I've been really productive and I've gotten a lot done, but absolutely none of it so far has been schoolwork related. So I've been doing stuff and I've been really productive and I've gotten so many things that I wanted to get done today, but none of them have been school related. So from your point of view, it looks like I haven't done anything. But it is right around 2:30, like I just said, and I'm going to start on my schoolwork today. I need to do some in-class writing. I need to do a whole bunch of math reading. And honestly, that's it, because most of my math reading is going to take me a really solid chunk of time. Half of it could quite possibly take me like 3 hours. I'm going to do my in-class writing for my writing class, and then I'm going to take a million notes on my math reading. I find that Tuesdays and Thursdays, for some reason, are the days that I'm the most productive. I'm not exactly sure why that is, but Tuesdays and Thursdays, I find that I get the most done. So today's not an exception. I'm doing a whole bunch today, both school related and not school related. But without further ado, I'm gonna do my writing assignment. Okay, so it's now 6:47 in the evening. Today has been very interesting. I did my writing assignment and then I got caught up doing more housework and not schoolwork. So I have yet to do, hi Quincy, I've yet to do my math reading, but I have marked in my textbook where I need to read. I'm not sure how much reading I'm going to get done tonight. I would like to get a good chunk of it done, but I'm tired now. So we'll see how I feel. I will let you know. Good morning. It is Friday, November 6th. It's about 10 a.m., 10:30 a.m. I am not going to get ready today. I'm just going to do schoolwork. I did not end up doing any of my math reading last night. If you can't tell, that is the class that I procrastinate and put off the most. I don't really enjoy that class, but I'm taking it and I'm passing. I'm doing well. I just don't enjoy it. Am I not in focus? So I have my to-do list today and it is far shorter than my other to-do list. There's only like 3 things on it and I actually just fed my tortoises. So I only have doing my math reading and editing some of my video that I want to do. And I made it really, really short so that it wasn't overwhelming at all. I literally only have 2 things that I want to do today and I have hours and hours and hours and hours and hours to do it. Alright, without further ado, I'm going to read Hours of Math. So it has just turned 1 p.m. and I have been doing notes for a couple hours now. I still have quite a bit to go, but for right now, I'm going to stop and I'm going to go ahead and have some lunch and start editing a video while I eat my lunch. So I'm probably going to do that for about a half an hour, maybe an hour, because honestly, I'm tired, a little drained. Reading about math is super boring. Won't lie, but we're still getting progress and that is good. So I'm going to eat some lunch and then I will check back in with you right before I start my second round of notes for the day. Hi, it's a lot later than it should be. So I stopped for lunch and then I took a nap for 3 hours on accident. And then when I woke up from my nap and I realized how late I slept, I wanted to check back in with the election, so I watched some more stuff about that. And then I watched some TikToks, and then my cat started snuggling me, so I snuggled my cat more. And now it's about 6:30, and it's time for dinner. So I just went and I started making myself dinner, and I have not started editing my video or done any more of my notes. By the way, this is the ice cream I'm eating. Focus on my ice cream. It's good, thank you, Mom. Yeah, I was not planning on taking a nap. I just fell asleep. I did not sleep well at all last night, so it makes sense that I was tired and I fell asleep. I fell asleep, and then I slept for a good 3 hours, which is a long time. I don't normally take naps anymore. I used to take a nap every day. I no longer really take naps. So I guess I was really tired. So what I'm thinking is that I'm going to do like another 40 minutes of math reading and notes at least, and then I'll stop, which is not what I normally planned, but I do think that that's what's happening. The funny thing is this happens pretty much every single week. No, not the nap, but me being stuck with my math schoolwork and me not wanting to do it and making stupid excuses as to why I can put it off. And then like Saturday and Sunday, me is really pissed about it. So we'll see how I feel about this Saturday and Sunday. Okay, I think I'm in focus. I apologize if I'm not. It is now Saturday at 6 p.m. 6:20 p.m. Wow, there's a lot to unpack because it's been almost 24 hours and the last update was late yesterday. I swear not every week's like this. I'm not sure why my week has decided to go on like this when I chose to film, but whatever. Last night I did end up doing my FYE work, so I had that all done. So the only work that I have to do today and tomorrow is for my math class. My goal was to get all of my math done, and I haven't even started it because I woke up this morning and I did not feel good at all, and I just felt achy and like my head was hurting, very much like how I felt on Monday. And then I got a migraine towards the middle of the day, and so I took some ibuprofen and took a really long nap. So now it is about 6:30, and I'm going to do at least my math exercises as well as the rest of my math notes, but I might just watch the videos for those because the reading is more in depth, but the topic is really basic. So I feel like if I just do the videos and the exercises, then I'll be able to get a good handle on it. Normally I wouldn't do this, however, I'm not trying to overwork myself, and notes take a really long time, and this is a very basic topic that just goes on for a very long time. Okay, so it is about 9 p.m. and I am honestly in awe of the amount of reading and notes I'm taking for this topic because it's not difficult at all, but I have read over 10 pages, and let me count how many pages of notes I've written on my 9th page of notes. And I've seriously cut back on like how much I'm writing down for what I'm reading. In my other chapters, I've written down a lot more thorough notes, but for this chapter I had to cut it down because it's so long. And what's weird about that is that it's really, really easy. So I don't know why I'm taking all these notes. It is now almost 10:30. I just finished my quiz. I got 100%, but I haven't even finished taking my notes because there's so many of them. I still have like a couple pages to go, but I just looked at the textbook and did the questions instead. So I don't even know if I need to finish my notes. Anyways, I'm gonna be done for tonight. I might finish off on my notes. That would take me another like half hour or so, but I'll let you know in the morning if I do so. Regardless, that's it for the night, and I guess I will see you on Sunday. Alrighty, so it is the next day, Sunday, and what a day it has been. I am a little upset and tired, and it is 7:15 at night. This morning I woke up around 10ish, then laid in bed, started doing schoolwork around 10:30. Nope, that's not true. 11:30. And then stopped at around 12:30. I'm about to start and finish off the last of my assignments for this week, which is just one half of one thing that's going to take me just a little bit of time, but I'm tired and burnt out and I don't want to do it. I really wish I could just relax the rest of the evening, but I know that dragging it out longer is only going to make it worse. I am going to do that, but before I do that, I wanted to just talk about like how difficult this transition has been for me and how difficult it is to learn in this way. I have found that this half of a term alone, I have been more burnt out with school than any other time in my life. Even when I was going to school for 8 hours a day, doing a couple hours of homework at night, and doing a whole bunch of stuff for music programs, a couple hours stuff for music programs every single day. I am more burnt out this term alone than when I was then. And I really do think that it has to do with just the overwhelming state of the world. Just so much is happening and it's hard to digest. It's hard to be okay not to feel overwhelmed. Okay, don't cry. Oh my god. So especially taking on a whole new type of learning, like completely new altogether, is tricky. It's tricky. It's really adding the cherry on top of everything else. This week was interesting because there was a couple days where I kind of just treaded water, where I just did the absolute bare minimum that I had to do in order to not fall behind, or not fall behind too horribly, because I had really bad headaches or I wasn't feeling well and I literally couldn't do any more work. Usually in the weeks I don't really have days like that, so I'm not really sure what happened this week. I think I'm kind of learning to be softer on myself and allow myself to have days where I just tread water, and that's okay. And that it's okay for me to do the bare minimum so that I don't get completely burnt out. And it's not going to be like this forever. I know that. Eventually I'll be okay, but just in general, right now, life is very overwhelming and that is difficult. And it's okay to admit that it is difficult and that it is hard and that I'm struggling. With all of that, I'm going to go do the rest of my assignment and then be done for the week, which starts again tomorrow. I have to do this all again tomorrow. But we're not thinking about tomorrow. We're only thinking about this 10 or 15 minutes left that I have to do for one assignment, the rest of one assignment even, and to just get that done. Get it out of the way. I'm gonna go do that. It is just about 8 p.m. and I finished the last thing of the week. Took a picture of it, sent it in, which means I'm done. Thank God. So tired. Alright, I'll send you off to the outro. So that is what just one of the weeks in my life looks like as a college student. It was very stressful, to say the least. Since then, I've gotten a little bit more on track and things tend to be a little bit less stressful, but that is a really good example of what most of this term has looked like for me. Very high stress, very frustrated, just working and trying to figure out how to do everything remotely. It's something that I'm completely not used to, and I'm sure that most students who are doing remote or virtual or split learning are doing right now, they feel very similar. If you are currently in school, feel free to share your experience down below. And with that, you have reached the end of the video. If you enjoyed, feel free to like and subscribe so that you can stick around and see more content like this and the other content that I post. And with all of that being said, thank you so much for watching, and I hope that you have a great rest of your day.